Hello everyone, welcome back. As part of our previous videos, we have learned how to create a read only application in RAP. So, we have created one read only application and we have seen the different types of annotations and how to make that application more presentable using the annotations, but we have not implemented the CRUD capabilities for that one. Now, starting from this video, we will be doing the transactional capability for our application. So, in that adding transactional capability, we can do it in two ways. That means we have the BO, and for that BO, we can enable the create, update, delete functionality using the two types of scenarios. One is the managed implementation and another is the unmanaged implementation. So your BO has its structure, behavior, and the runtime implementation. So the implementation of BO, you can do it using the managed or the unmanaged implementation. Now we have to understand what is the managed implementation and what is the unmanaged implementation. So coming to the managed implementation, what is this managed implementation means? Whenever you don't have any logic available to you, you will be enabling the transactional capability for your app by selecting this managed implementation while creating your behavior definition. Whenever you are going to create a behavior definition, you have the two options available. One is the managed implementation and another one is the unmanaged implementation. These two are the options which you will get whenever we are going to create a behavior definition. When to choose which one and what are these means? So managed implementation means all the CRUD operation related things and the logic will be taken care by the framework. So you don't need to write anything for the implementation to happen, like the create, read, update, delete, and all the things will be taken care by the framework. You don't need to write extra logic for your managed implementation. But if it is unmanaged, you have to write the logic, how the create has to happen, how the update has to happen, like that. So this one, if we are creating a scratch application where you are creating a new application for your either Fiori UI or your web API or your RAP events, you will be going with the managed implementation because you don't have anything available which is already present. So you are just focusing on the business logic and all the remaining things will be taken care by your framework. So you don't need to spend lot of time on your implementation part. Instead you can focus on your business logic. And in your managed implementation, you don't have any transactional buffer, business logic implementation, or authorization functionality available to you. So you don't have these kind of logic available to you. You can go with your managed implementation type. You don't have any business logic available and you don't have any authorization type of logic available to you, or you don't have any transactional buffer. We will be talking more about this transactional buffer when we are discussing about the unmanaged implementation. As of now, this is like the intermediate one where If you are editing something, it will be storing in your transactional buffer, not in your database. That way you can remember. But we have a deep concept we have to understand in the transactional buffer. And in our managed implementation, all the things were taken over by the managed RAP BO provider. And by using this managed implementation, we can benefit from the out of the box support for the processing means your CRUD operations. And the standard operations create, update, delete will be specified in your behavior definition to make a ready to run business object. So your business object will be ready to run when you are defining your standard operations in your behavior definition. As of now, in our previous application, we have not seen any create, read, update and delete functionalities available because we have not created behavior definition for that. And the technical implementation aspects, whatever are there, those will be taken care by the managed RAP BO provider. So all these things in the managed implementation will be taken by the framework, which is the RAP BO provider. And the interaction phase and the save sequence are implemented generically. We don't need to worry about this interaction phase and the save sequence. This is also a part of the RAP architecture, where how the changes will be saved to the database. This one we will be discussing clearly in a separate video. And since we have the create, update, delete functionality taken over by the RAP BO provider, which is the RAP framework, we can mainly focus on the business logic, which are actions, validations, determinations, and the user interaction. So we can define the action, validations, and determinations. We will be clearly discussing what is action, what is validation, and determination, all these things. A simple example we can give is, if you want to accept a particular travel booking, you have a button available to accept the travel, so that it will be accepted or it can be rejected by using the reject button. Like that you can implement in your travel booking free app using these actions, validations, and the determinations. So your transactional engine in the managed implementation will handle the life cycle of your business objects, and it covers the business application development. So in simple terms, we can say that in managed implementation, we don't need to worry about the standard operations. We only have to focus on the business logic. So all the functionalities, whatever are standard, either create, update, delete, most of the things will be taken by the RAP runtime architecture, RAP BO provider. We have to only work or mainly focus on the business logic, and we can easily create new transactional apps when you don't have any logic available for you in this managed implementation. So this is the summary of your managed implementation. When you don't have any logic, go with the managed implementation. Or whenever you want to mainly focus on the business logic and you don't have anything available, you have to go with your managed implementation. Here all the most of the things will be taken care by the standard. You don't need to worry about anything. You have to work on your business logic by using the actions, validations, and the determinations. Now coming to the unmanaged implementation type. So here in unmanaged implementation, we have to implement all the components. Here the framework doesn't do anything. Here the framework does not provide standard functionality. The application developer, that means we as a developer, has to work on each and everything. We will be defining the behavior in the behavior definition, but the create, read, update, delete, all the things has to be manually. We have to write the code in our behavior pool, which is the ABAP classes. We will be doing the behavior implementation. In that implementation class, which is the behavior pool, we have to write the code for create, update, and delete functionalities. Whenever you have business logic available to you, we can go with the unmanaged implementation, so that we can make use of that logic by defining in the behavior definition and implementing that logic in the behavior pool. So whatever the things we have to do in our unmanaged implementation, it will be always by implementing the code. Architecture or the BO provider doesn't do anything here. All the things as a developer, you have to do everything. So this is mainly intended for the things where you have the logic available, so that we can make use of that logic instead of making the things more complex or implementing the things whole from the scratch. So this is the use of unmanaged implementation. Now coming to the architecture for the managed scenario, this is the architecture where you have the business data, and this is the new managed implementation for transactional app. You can consume it as web API or the Fury app. So even in the managed implementation also, you can have the some reuse components. For example, in our demo scenario for creating the read only scenario, we have reused the components like value helps and text for getting the text from some other views. Those comes under the reuse components. So if you have anything standard available or something custom already available for you, you can reuse the components in your managed implementation also. So the CRUD functionality will ca- will taken care by the framework. And when you have something good use components available, you can make use of them in your managed scenario. So what are the things which will come under managed scenario, or what are the things we have to develop means all these things we have to create for your managed application also. You will be having the database tables, and we will be creating the CDSU on top of your database tables, and you will be having the one CDS view for your BO, where you will be creating the behavior definition and behavior implementation in your ABAP classes, and you will be writing that code in your ABAP classes. And you have the projection view, and for that projection view you will be creating the behavior definition, which is the behavior projection, and you will be creating one metadata extension for writing all the UI annotations, or the annotation specific things we will be writing in the metadata extension. And in the service definition, we will be exposing the entities whatever has to be present for our service, and then we will be doing the service binding. So for your managed implementation, you have the standard operations available in your behavior definition. We will be defining that in the behavior definition. As of now, in our read only application, we have created only CDS views on top of the database tables, and we have created projection views and the service definition and the service binding. We have not created the metadata extension also. We will be creating this metadata extension and enabling the transactional capability in the behavior definition, and we will be creating a full-fledged application using the managed implementation. Now going to the next slide, whatever we have to continue. So we have to do, whenever we are creating the managed scenario, these are some steps where you have to develop the ready to run business object and developing the business logic, and you have to do the projection, and you have to test the OData service. So developing the ready to run business objects, so you will be creating the things whatever are needed. You will be creating the things from the scratch. Mostly most of the things will be taken care by the framework, so we don't need to implement all the technical details by ourselves. So such as transactional handling, buffer management, all these things will be taken care by the framework. You have to just create the particular artifacts like creating the CDS views and all. So for speeding up the process, the standard framework takes care of all these things, and after that we have to work on the business logic, which is the main aspect, by developing the actions, validations, and determinations, so that your BO looks more consistent and more has more operations and more capabilities. And the next thing is you have to do the projection for your BO, which is the service related thing. You can separate the layer for customer and supplier, like that we have already discussed in our projection layer. So you can create two projection layers and can do two different apps while the BO is same, the underlying BO is same, but you can create two applications, one for customer and one for supplier, like that. Maybe in this travel scenario for managed implementation also, we will try implementing the travel related BO for two particular people, which is processor and approver. Like approver should have only approve and reset, while your processor should have the create, update, delete, and something more functionalities available to them. Like that we will be building, and you have to publish the OData UI service by doing the service definition and service binding. So these are the some steps. And when coming to this managed travel scenarios, you have the travel, which is the root entity, and you have your booking, and we have the booking supplement, which is the child entity for the booking, and this is the leaf entity. If you have a travel, there can be one to a number of bookings. If you have your booking, there can be one to a number of booking supplements. And the vice versa, if you don't have your booking, then definitely you don't have your booking supplements. If you don't have your travel, you don't have any booking. So it is the composition which is very tightly coupled. If you don't have booking, then definitely you don't have the booking supplement. You have the travel agency, then there can be one booking or it can be n number of bookings. You can book the ticket. While booking the ticket, you can book some of the booking supplements, like I want some meals or some type of snacks. You can choose. If you have the booking, there can be a chance that a customer can book the supplements, or either they can ignore by not booking the supplements. That way it is possible. But if you don't have booking, then you cannot book the booking supplements. That is how the linkage is between these three things. It is a tightly coupled, which is the composition. So now from the next video we will be creating the persistent tables, and we will be creating the views and doing the transactional capability of our managed scenarios, and we will be building a application for two different persons, which is the approver and the processor. So I hope this video is useful to you. Please do like, share and subscribe to this channel for more useful content.